What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're gonna have a little fun with Ghost Rider because I get lots of questions on how do you play Ghost Rider. A lot of people seem to have problems with his rotations, and the reason being is because Ghost Rider is really a character that you really want to play more about feel. You're just trying to keep the proc on certain skills like the fist skill. You always want to start with this fist skill whenever this thing's ready because it's going to give you that 25% increase of all attack and then an increase of fire damage. That's very, very important for your damage. And what a lot of people like to do is they like to hit the 5 and then they go into the 4. He'll do a little spin around, he'll jump up, throw some chain spikes down, and as soon as he jumps up, then you want to go straight into your third skill. And this thing is your big money maker. It does have ignore iframe, which does come in useful in PvE content, but it also has this increased damage by 250% attack. And thanks to Ghost Rider's passive, this increased damage to supervillains by 120%. That is just massive. It does help to have the decreased damage received from supervillain faction by 20%, but even though he does have the decreased damage received, Ghost Rider can still die very easy. It's really the cudgel to this character is the fact that he just doesn't have the greatest survivability, but his damage is actually outrageous. He actually has very, very good damage. I'm not going to be playing the highest stage possible for this character on my account, but I'm going to play a stage where I can consistently get it done, whereas at higher stages it's much more difficult because it's very hard to keep him alive. Even when you're using Venom as a striker, it's so difficult, especially if there's like meteorites on the ground against Null. Man, he just takes so much damage. And as far as this build, he does have 42,000 energy attack. He has pretty much max all attack stats except for his critical rate, but still pretty close. It'd really be nice if White Fox ever gets an awakened skill, because then we could use her with Ghost Rider, which would be awesome. As far as his Urus, he has mythic energy attack Urus. He's decently built, but I have no Odin's Blessing, so that's something to keep in mind. A lot of the runs you guys see with Ghost Rider, people have him built super well, and there's a reason for that, because he has an insane amount of utility on top of just being a damage dealing monster. The guy is used in squad battle, the guy was used in ABX, the guy is used everywhere. World Boss Legend, the guy is used in story mode. If you set up Odin, White Fox, and Ghost Rider in not story mode but dispatch missions, they will absolutely murder. Okay, I've done the final stages of dispatch mission with that team because you get the all defense down from Odin, but Ghost Rider's damage, especially the fact because you play with a Rage or a Judgment, you don't have to worry about landing procs. He just does insane damage with the all defense down, especially if you start having Pierce. It's just nuts how strong this character is. But this is a fairly free to play build, right? I don't have no Odin's Blessings on this character. He does have a fully awakened Power of Angry Hawk set, and we are rocking a CTP of Judgment. It's just a normal CTP of Judgment that has the increase all damage element by 200%. That chain hit damage is actually really nice. You'll find that whenever you start getting more and more Pierce, chain hit damage is going to synergize with that. So even though we only have 15% chain hit damage, I really wish this obelisk had a little bit more. We would actually be doing more damage because I do have 13% Pierce on my account. He does have a mythic uniform. So he is well built, but this guy's been in this game for a long time now. This uniform has been in the game for months and months. I can't remember, over 9 months or so. I'm not even sure. Long time. I got dodge on his first roll to help his survivability. Then we got some energy attack. And, this uniform is all the way at Mythic. It sucks that's his paywall. And then we got a little extra HP, which really helps Ghost Rider. It helps his survivability. Man, you really want some HP. And since, we're able to craft our cards, we can actually gain a lot of extra ignore defense. So, in a way, that's pretty cool because, well, it's actually pretty cool because you can actually change your ignore defense stat, which would a lot of people normally run on this uniform bonus, to HP to help character's survivability. And then we have White Fox here, which is pretty funny. I got a little extra dodge just for the extra survivability. And then we got some critical damage to try to max out Ghost Rider's critical damage. Now, as far as the run, I actually pre-recorded a run. I'm just going to show you guys because even at stage 15, it's not that easy. But here's something that's really nice. You have to use humans, right? And ever since the introduction of Taskmaster, we have that extra support. And the other supports that we have were Valkyrie and Mystique, who are mutant, and, well, Valkyrie's considered an alien. So you can't even use them here. So I would just want to show off also the fact that, having Taskmaster and having that increased damage to supervillain from his uniform effect is actually very good. And a good reason to tier 3 this character. Remember, I had 13% Pierce. You know, if I don't have 22% Pierce, all this insane stats. If I did, we could easily go higher. And he could probably do, I mean, I think he could probably do stage 19 on my account. But man, it is difficult. I tried it. I spent about an hour and a half trying to do it. And man, at the end, I just kept coming up short. It was just very, very difficult and very difficult to keep him alive, even when I was using Doctor Strange in and out. And speaking of Doctor Strange, we do have some ignore dodge here for the leadership and the increase of energy attack. And then, of course, Taskmaster for the reasons I just mentioned. And we are going to be using a couple ignore dodge strikers. That way, we always have ignore dodge whenever we're rotating through his skills. Ghost Rider does have 100% ignore dodge on his tier 3, but it's not always going to be up when you're rotating through your skills. A cool thing about the character, though, is that the ultimate skill does build up very, very quick. His charge skill builds up super, super fast. So we're going to go ahead and pull that up right now. Here we go. And you all can see what's going on here. All right. So we start off with old Ghost Rider. We do the 5. We do the 4. We're going to jump up, shoot our spikes down, then go into the 3. And you'll do some really, really good damage by doing that. And what you're ideally trying to do is you want it whenever you use your tier 3. Now, a lot of people are going to have a different opinion about this, but this is just what I like to do. Whenever the tier 3 is ready, I always like to have the third skill off cooldown ready to go. Because if you do the 5, the tier 3, and the 3, just like what I just did there, the damage is absolutely insane. Whereas some people, they'll do the 5, the tier 3, and then like your 4 skill, if the third skill is off cooldown, and you'll still do really good damage. But because of that increase of attack by 250% attack, 250% on the third skill, you just do insane damage with the 5, tier 3, and the third skill. This is what I like. This is what I prefer to do. So whenever I'm playing, I'm trying to do the 5. Okay, and notice I'm not using the tier 3. I'm waiting and waiting. I'm gonna go in the 2-1, and now we're gonna do the 5, the tier 3, and then the third skill again, and we just start murdering. Now, something that does suck about Ghost Rider is the vines that come slamming down. Whenever you do your 5th skill, you're not in iframe, so he can get interrupted, which really does suck, man. It's actually pretty freaking annoying, but you absolutely need Venom for heals in here, because if you don't have this guy, GR will die. I mean, he just can't hang in there, man, which is really wacky, you know. I mean, the King of Hell really should have better survivability. This is a complaint that a lot of players had for a long time. Now, I went ahead and just used my 3rd skill there because I knew I was going to have to switch my character, and I know the 3rd skill is going to be off cooldown in the next rotation whenever I bring Ghost Rider in. So, and another thing about Taskmaster, by the way, that's really nice is his movement speed is so fast. He's so quick. And so he's really good for switching. Like, Ghost Rider is really slow. So when you switch to Taskmaster, you can actually run around, get away from your opponents very, very easily, which is really nice, man. It really helps, honestly, when it comes to playing the game. So we're just waiting. We're going to hit our 5 and then our 4. There we go. And whenever you do the 5, make sure you shoot that burst of flame up into the air before you go into the 4, so you get all that damage from it. Now, I just went ahead and switched. We're going to use Doctor Strange. We are going to throw in Doctor Strange a little bit here and there, because Doctor Strange, I can actually use him at the beginning phase. At the very end, whenever Null starts having the cage all around him, we can use Doctor Strange in the very first part of the phase. In stage 15, on my account, Ghost Rider will die if I try doing that. And with Doctor Strange, he can actually hang in there a little bit. Let's run around. We'll switch to Ghost Rider here. There we go. So now our 5, our tier 3, and our 3rd skill is all ready to go. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to hit the 5, the tier 3, and then the 3rd skill. Now, whenever I do the tier 3, I kind of wait. I wait about 1 second, 1.5 seconds or so, and then I go into the 3rd skill. And you'll get some serious, awesome burst damage by doing that. You know, and everybody does play this character differently. I mean, I've seen people use all kinds of different rotations. Some people prefer doing what I'm doing. Some people prefer other rotations. Whenever I'm in ABX, it's a little bit different because I'm really just trying to keep the skills going and going and going to do constant damage. But in World Boss Legend, because you're concerned about survivability, this is the reason that I like to play it like I do, because the way that I play it, you're going to be using your 5th skill more often throughout your rotations. You're going to get that extra invincibility, and Ghost Rider only has 3 seconds of invincibility. So man, he can take, he doesn't have the greatest survivability, which is a real shame, right? I mean, they did the character extreme justice because, you know, even after all these months, he's still very, very relevant, still considered to be one of the best tier 3s any player could ever have for anybody, for whales, for free to play, just a character that we all love dearly. There we go. And you know, we got about a minute left right now, so we can definitely go higher if I really want to. But again, man, survivability becomes a real big issue for Ghost Rider. So we're going to go ahead and hit Doctor Strange tier 3, and we're going to start rotating through his skills. I do have a rage on Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange can actually put out a little damage too, as you all can see. And this is really important to do that initial damage. And then when we go into this phase, we'll switch to Ghost Rider, and we got our 5. Let the flame go up, hit the tier 3, go into our 3rd skill, and murder, my friends. Here we go. Okay, so we didn't murder so much. Now we're going to go into our skills. Now I'm just going to a spam fest. Trying to do as much damage as I can. There we go. And when you get to this point of the fight, this is why it's really good to have some extra ignore dodge as strikers, because that way you're making sure that Null isn't dodging your attacks. That makes a big, big difference as far as how much damage you're actually going to do. So Ghost Rider really is an amazing character. It really is astonishing that he's remained as relevant as he has for so long. I freaking love this character. To be transparent, I don't really use him a whole lot because I use him in ABX, I use him in Squad Battle. I mean, I use him a whole lot in those respects, but I don't really use him a whole lot in World Boss Legend. Not because he isn't strong enough. He absolutely is one of the highest damage dealing characters in the game. It's just that his survivability is an issue. And, you know, the fact they never gave this guy a heal or more decreased damage received, which, I mean, one or the other would have been nice. Really, a heal would have been much better. I mean, this guy's pretty much immortal, so it's kind of wacky. They never gave him a heal. But as far as his damage is concerned, Ghost Rider really is an insane character and still just amazing. It's a shame they can't do this with all the tier 3s, but I mean, if they did, then people probably would stop tier 3 characters. I mean, they all can't be as strong as Ghost Rider, but it is nice when we see characters like this or characters like Falcon that were just nobodies and all of a sudden get these huge, huge bumps and become just totally insane. So let me know how y'all feeling about Ghost Rider. Let me know how you play him, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.